Hello, I'm Ninja Greg, and you're watching the Ninja Greg Show. And this is my review of the 1991 sports comedy Necessary Roughness. You know, when I was a kid, I remember frequenting my local Blockbusters and always being intrigued by the front cover of a movie, particularly during the days of VHS. Yeah, Blockbuster and VHS, getting real old school up in here. And I found the cover for Necessary Roughness to be most intriguing. And I don't actually have it with me because I had to return it to the library, or else it was going to be overdue. So, yeah, kind of poor planning on my part. But I'm sure you can probably do a Google image search. Anyways, I'm going to describe it to you just the same. It had a football that had aviator sunglasses, a toothy grin with a gold tooth, a cowboy hat, and big long bull horns. And of course, where I found it at my local library, and when I saw it there, I figured, oh, what the heck? I've been kind of intrigued by this movie for years. Why not see what it's all about? I mean, with a movie that had a cover such as I described, it seemed to suggest kind of a screwball, goofy comedy about a football team. And after seeing the movie, I can say with confidence, it is pure mediocrity. And in some cases, that is worse than having to watch a bad movie. Because at least with a bad movie, I can just sit back and just completely rip it apart and pick apart every little thing that I didn't like or found wrong with it. But I really can't do that with Necessary Roughness. And it's not really good enough for me to just sing its praises and tell you how incredibly awesome or how much of a hidden gem it is. It's really not. That's the trouble with mediocre material. You, as a reviewer, something that's kind of just in the middle, not really great or not really awful, sadly you don't get much to work with. You don't have a lot to praise and you don't have a lot to slam, so this review is actually going to be very light. But let's try anyways. Okay, so what's it about? Well, it's about a college football team, the Texas University Armadillos, and most of the players are completely taking off of the original team due to scandal like steroid abuse and I think maybe some gambling on the side. I don't really remember. That's another problem with this mediocre film. You don't really remember a lot. Anyways, there's this big corruption scandal that goes down, and the virtual slate is wiped clean, and the team has to start over. New coach, new players, and from there, it kind of feels like it wants to go in the direction of the typical sports movie about a team who are a bunch of quirky yet lovable misfits who come together in the end to prove everybody wrong, that they're not the losers they're made out to be, that they got what it takes to really win. And in a strange way, they lose a lot. Sure, there are some interesting characters, but we don't really get a lot of screen time with them. And I hate to say that this formula is kind of cliched because coming out in 1991, it came out before movies like The Big Green and Remember the Titans. So if it comes out before movies like that, does that still make it cliched? I don't know. One other good thing I can at least say about this movie is when it comes to the humor, God bless them, they try. You can, watching this, I could definitely tell, or I at least got a feeling where and when I was supposed to laugh, or what I was supposed to find funny, but 8 times out of 10, I just didn't. A few times it actually did get a chuckle out of me. It wasn't like real ha-ha funny, it was more like, huh, that's cute. So, they try, but I really didn't laugh much, which is a bad sign when your movie's supposed to be a comedy. as for the negative stuff, again, I can't say a whole lot because this movie doesn't give me much to work with in terms of stuff that's really stupid or offensive or any of the other hallmarks of a bad movie. I mean, the movie does tend to meander around and it doesn't really know what to focus on. Does it focus on the new head coach who's trying to keep the team on the straight and narrow? Does it focus on his assistant coach who's just loud, in your face, and kind of a typical mean football coach? Does it focus on some of the more quirky members of the team, like a guy who practices Eastern philosophy and seriously karate kicks some of the players instead of tackling them? Or the Samoan who's got the crush on the female kicker? Yeah, I know that sounds interesting and it's fun. It should sound funny, but they don't give you enough time to get invested. It's mostly focusing on this guy who played football when he was in high school, but didn't go to college and is given a chance to play in college, even though he's like in his 40s. And even then, it doesn't really focus on him a whole lot. Yeah, that was necessary roughness. Like I said, this review is really light, and I can only give you what the movie gives me, but this movie didn't give me a lot. It's just pure middle of the road mediocrity. It's not great, it's not awful, and as a result, it's kind of hard for me to recommend this one. I mean, if what I've said so far just makes the movie sound kind of boring and stupid in your opinion, then yeah, give it a skip. You're not missing anything. But if you're genuinely intrigued and curious about what I've said and want to see it for yourself, go right ahead. It's pretty harmless. Anyways, I'm Ninja Greg. You've been watching the Ninja Greg Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.